Welcome to episode 10 of the Connected Yoga Teacher live show. So we're 10 episodes in, and today I just want to talk to you about creating live video content for your audience as a yoga teacher. So this has been a huge learning adventure for me. I feel like I've made a lot of mistakes along the way, and I've learned a lot from it. So I wanted to have 9 episodes for sure under my belt before I shared this with you guys. So I'm excited to share this today. I also have a little gift for all of you yoga teachers out there as well. So it's going to be an exciting show. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Shannon Crow. I am a yoga teacher for 10 plus years now, and I also work as a consultant for yoga teachers and studios. And my motivation behind this is that I feel like if I can connect with more yoga teachers and help and support them through kind of more of the business side of things, then they can share the yoga that really lights them up, and then they'll be sharing that into their community. As you guys pop on here live today, it'd be great if you can put a little comment in to say where you're watching from. I would love to hear from you. Also, if you have questions about live video, please post them in the comments. Whether you're watching this live or the replay, I'm going to go back and answer all questions in there. So there's a lot of stuff to get into today. So this is really for yoga teachers who want to kind of harness this momentum that's already happening with Facebook Live. So you might have noticed in your own news feed that you get notifications if your friends go live. And the way the Facebook algorithm is working, they're promoting Facebook Live videos. So there's less about your Facebook page now as a yoga business and more about live video and video in general. So this is a great opportunity. It's kind of like being able to have your own commercial or have your own TV show. Hi, Sherry. Great to see you here today. Let us know what the weather's like where you are and where you're watching from, and if you have any questions about live video. Also, this is a great way to share your personality, and live video allows you to do that. So some of you watching this live video, you might feel like, oh, I know Shannon. I watch her live show every week, or I've watched a few of her live shows. And it's a great way to get to know how someone speaks. So we don't get that in a blog post. We might not even get that in a polished video. So Facebook Live gives you this opportunity to really get to know someone. And this is important as a yoga teacher because yoga students want to know your personality. They go to yoga classes for you. So say you're trying to reach new yoga students, which many of us are, and to invite them to your classes, it's great if they can get to know your teaching style and your speaking voice and feel like they already know you before they come to class. So this is why I'm excited about live video. The other reason to bring this in is that I love it, Sherry, that it's 79 degrees and sunny here in Tampa, Florida. It is gray and cloudy here in Ontario, Canada. For those of you who don't know, I love the weather. So somebody just posted something on my page today. Thank you, Nina. Okay, so this is a great way to share your message and to let people know what you're really passionate about, what you're curious about, what you're skilled at, and where your expertise is. So it's a great way to carve out this niche market. So as an example, for my yoga students, I switched to sharing yoga for pelvic health videos because that's what I'm really passionate about doing. And already I've seen more people enrolling in that class that starts in April than most of my other classes. And I think part of it is doing the live videos and having access to that for students. Then of course I use live video every week for the Connected Yoga Teacher, so that's my main focus, and you guys are going to hear me use this as a lot of the example today, but you will be able to turn that around and then use it for yourself. So I've made a lot of mistakes, as I said, and I've done a lot of learning along the way, and I would love it so that you guys could skip that and dive right in with the things that I learned the hard way and that kind of knowledge. So I'm going to try and share as much as possible I made some notes as I was a beginner and wrote those down. I also created an article which many of you maybe have seen, but I will post a link to that in the comments here. And it'll also be in our show notes on the connectedyogateacher.com. Just look under live show and you'll see all of the show notes from every episode. But there's an article like basic beginner where to start for that. So one other thing about Facebook Live is that I was terrified to do it the first time that I ever did it. It was a challenge with the business group that I'm a part of, The Nest, hosted by Natalie Ekdahl. And she challenged all of us to post a video in there just to introduce ourselves. There was about a group of 40 women, but it was terrifying. I didn't know any of them except for Natalie, but I was watching the videos that they were posting and it was a way for me to get to know them. And it frankly was easier. So once I got up the courage to press the go live button, I could just say who I was, what I was doing, where I lived, who my family was in a matter of minutes, which no one would have read all of those words. So video is another way to really connect with people. It's real, it's raw, it's less produced. And I think that's why people like it. And the perfectionist in me really wanted to have like a video that was really professional. But the way the things work with the Connected Yoga Teacher, I like you guys to have the information fast. And if I put this into a course and did it with a professional videographer and had all of the course notes, this information would be out of date by the time you got the course. So that's the way things work now. And frankly, it's easier to make a video like this than it is to make a professional video. So I'm going to go through exactly what you need. Great question, Sherry, on here. Do you use your iPhone, iPad, or computer? And that is actually what we're going to get into right next. So before we get into that, I want to tell you guys, all of you yoga teachers out there, if you're not already a member of our Connected Yoga Teacher Facebook private group, become a member of that. And then we're going to have a challenge in there. Not to worry, we're a little less than 200 yoga teachers in there. Everyone is afraid to make live video. Everyone. There's a couple of you that have posted a live video, but most want to, is from what I hear, and you're afraid. And that's okay. That's the way I was. And I still get a little nervous when I'm going to do a live video. Sometimes I wonder, like, what am I going to say? I do have notes. I'm going to show you guys that, how to get through that. But if you do, there's a special surprise for you guys that do post a live intro video. So all I want you to do is jump on there, say your name, where you're from, what your yoga journey is like, maybe some challenges that you have as a yoga teacher, maybe, thanks for the hearts, you guys, maybe some things that are working really well, and tell us about yourselves. Some of you have shown us around your yoga space, and that's fun too. And then when you post that live video in there, and for those of you who do, you'll get a refund the next time that you book a consultation with me. So the rules of this little prize is that you just have to post in the next 2 weeks in the Connected Yoga Teacher private group. So only our members will be able to see the video. That's by April the 10th, so 2 Mondays from now, 2 weeks, that's April the 10th. And then that's a $15 refund. So when you book a consultation, I'm going to send you a refund of $15. Or if you're doing it by e-transfer or whatever, then we'll just make it $15 less. So that's if you're booking a brand new consultation time, the 90-minute one, or follow-up consultation if you've already done that, if you've already booked with me. Okay, so let's dive right into exactly what you need to do this. So I first started doing this with my iPad, and the reason why is because my iPhone is so old that it actually doesn't do Facebook Live video. So I brought the iPad here, and as you can tell, I'm not doing it on the iPad. I have the iPad turned off. I have everything in the house, actually it's only the iPad because it's only me here on Mondays, turned off so that I have really good Wi-Fi. I'm also directly plugged in to the Ethernet cord. I don't know if I can turn the computer so you can see. I try and hide this, but it's plugged directly in. so that I have the strongest connection possible. And as you can probably see, I have a set of earbuds. That's not necessary. So really all that's necessary is either a phone, an iPad, or a computer that has video. So that's what you guys are watching me on. Another great ad from the dollar store, I think it was $2, is this handy little, yeah, I'm really high tech, this handy little holder so that you don't have to hold it. And sometimes I see people doing live video, and this iPad gets really heavy. The other thing I've done is set it in the window, and that's for lighting. So up to now, I only use the window for lighting. And that, 12:30 is what time I do the video every Monday. Today's really gray out and I'm not getting a lot of light. That's okay. I have thought about getting lighting. Some people do talk about a ring light that goes around their phone. Or other lighting to come and do lighting. I go through this in that article of kind of what you need and how to set things up. It's easy, really super easy to do a test video that only you can see, and then you can delete it later. And I go through that in that article. Some other things that you might want to have. Oh, I know, Renee, you posted a question, do I have another microphone? I don't. I found that this microphone produces the best sound. You guys can hear me well. Just know that there is a little delay of the video sound getting out to people, right? Obviously, when I talk and the video makes, then I see comments pop up a little bit later, so know that happens. Sometimes the video just goes off. It is live video, it's streaming, so I know sometimes there's little glitches, but no one seems to mind that. There are some fancier things that you can get into, and I really don't know that much about them. Vicki Lashenko has a show that she does every Monday, and I've watched it with curiosity because she has a split screen and she interviews her guests on there. So they jump on, I think through Skype. She has a program, it's like a third-party program, and it's called Wirecast, and I think it costs $500. This is out of my budget right now for a live show. But how fun, because then you can have guests on your show. You can ask them questions and people are popping in and they're watching live. I will try and put a link to Vicky's show on here, Vicki Lashenko. I think it's called Mompreneur. Okay, what else? There's something now, there's another one, and if anyone is already using another program, I think it's called Be Live or something, and I tried to sign up for it, but then I was feeling like there was no way to do a practice video. So I'm not sure about that. If anyone is already using something like that or something else, it's going to evolve. The other thing that some people might some experts are saying might happen is that there might be a fee for it. So right now, this is all completely free for you to do, which is amazing when you can get the message out there to your yoga students. Okay. Because it used to be you'd have to be on TV. So the prep. I already talked about shutting down all of the Wi-Fi. Hi guys, I see your comments and questions in here and I really appreciate them. I'm going to try to get to them as much as possible. Oh, Carissa says, hi Shannon, challenge for me is looking out into the class while I'm teaching, which is part of my shyness confidence issue. Just so you guys know, Carissa is an awesome yoga teacher, so I love that she's sharing this. So that being said, live video is very scary for me. It is. It's really strange, Carissa, but I feel like right now I know you and I'm talking to you, and it's like, can you talk one-on-one to people? One thing to remember is that lots of you are popping on here, but sometimes I've just been sitting here talking to no one. And I try and imagine some of you from our Connected Yoga Teacher group out there, and I try and just imagine that I'm talking to one person. One thing that I love, so I don't know who said it, is when your message gets strong enough and you really want to share it, you're going to get over that hurdle of being afraid. So I don't know if that helps. That's why the challenge in the Connected Yoga Teacher Live place is so cool, because you just get to say hi. Other yoga teachers are going to get to know you and what you offer, and it's a really safe place to share. So if you haven't heard about that challenge, it's at the beginning. You can watch the replay. Yes, Kathy, I love the free part now as well. And Sherry, oh, I like it that you've seen the Be Live. If anyone has something that you feel like, oh, I've seen it and I have an example that you can share with us, that'd be great. So other thing about prep, okay, this is a big part of it. I love Monday mornings for this. I'm like, goodbye, everyone goes to work and to school and the house is mine. And I do my research for my topic on that Monday morning. Now, I usually have some research behind me, but I want to make sure that I have the most up-to-date notes on those topics. So I spend some time looking over previous blog posts that I have, or maybe that morning, then I'll either listen to a podcast or read a book on the topic or do something. So if I feel like I need more, because I like to take the information that I already have, but I like to see if I can look for more information for you guys. And I've done that today as well. I've listened to a couple of podcasts and feel like, oh yeah, I would change that or whatever. I've made a couple of notes from other podcasts, and I'll share one with you soon. So I think that prep time and taking the notes and getting set up and getting ready is really important for the prep. Even before that, it's important to figure out what you want people to be doing when they watch your live video. So for example, I know right now, I would love for all of the yoga teachers out there listening to join this little challenge in the Connected Yoga Teacher Facebook Live group, because my goal is to get you guys using live video a little bit more, because I think you're going to see it really improves your business. And in that, then I also know if more teachers are watching this video, say on YouTube or something else, they're going to come and join us over at the Connected Yoga Teacher Live or Facebook group and join in the conversation there. And that's more people listening to the podcast, more people listening to the live show. And then eventually some of those people will connect with my message and book consultation appointments with me, which is how I run the consultation side of my business. So see how there's that direct line. Now, when I did a Facebook challenge with a business group, I immediately wanted to post videos for yoga students. So I did that for a while. That was a hibernation set. I made all kinds of mistakes in there. If you guys are looking for videos, they're still up there. One of the mistakes I made was turning the video to my bird feeder outside until people were jumping on live, and I don't do that anymore. I don't trim videos. I don't waste any time. I just start at the beginning, and then those that jump in part way can go back to the replay. So that's kind of part of the prep. But what my business coach invited me to think about was, who was I wanting to reach most? And I was mostly wanting to reach out and talk to more yoga teachers. So that is where this live show even began. So I thought of a plan. I made out the calendar, and as you guys see, the April calendar is ready as well. And that's kind of the way before prep. So say you're a yoga teacher and your plan is to get more students to come to your weekly class. What is that weekly class? What are some parts of that weekly class that you could share with the people that are attending? And then maybe they will share that with other people. Say they go to the class and they're like, we did this amazing legs up the wall bit with the teacher, and look, she has a video on her Facebook Live. She just did a Facebook Live, and I can tell you guys how to also put those on your website as well. So through YouTube. Okay, we're jumping ahead. What else did I do for prep? Oh yeah, so sometimes I make giant pages of notes. Sometimes I write in my bullet journal as just like a little book from Staples. And today I've started putting notes on recipe cards. The reason for the notes on the recipe cards is I thought I could just put one note and then talk away about it. And I heard of that from someone else, and I thought before I tell you guys about it, I want to try it. It seems to be working pretty well. Something else you want to be prepped is ready. So I used to do these standing, and I felt like I was getting more excited or kind of out of breath from them. So I do them sitting. That was one other thing. You could try it standing or sitting. I have my yoga mat ready back behind. So for those of you who want to do yoga, I've done it here in this room. And if you have a computer, you can tilt the screen. If you have an iPad, you can move it around. If you feel like you're going to do a lot of movement, see if you can get someone else to help you with the video. Sometimes I get my kids to do that or my partner, Sean. Um, and you just want to make sure that you would be able to see the full yoga mat. So if I tilt the screen like that, you guys can see the yoga mat in behind, and I know then it's fully in the video. When you're setting up your Facebook Live, you're going to have a little bit of time. I wouldn't take too much time on this, so just one little tip that I don't even know if Facebook is acknowledging this, but if I take too much time typing in the subject of like what we're going to do today, so I press like I want to do a live video, then I start typing in the comments. And if I take too much time of playing around with like, can I see the mat? What if I move around here? What if I tip it like this? I feel like it then doesn't go live properly. So I'm pretty much like type in my thing and then get ready to go live. And then it does a little countdown. It's like 3, 2, 1. And not to worry if you did something horribly wrong in the video, which I don't know what that would be. It just isn't. You guys are amazing teachers and you're just going to share from your heart. You can decide to delete the video. So I've done videos where even last week I went to post a video for just our private teacher group. And some of you might have seen like there was no sound. So I went to play it. I couldn't hear the sound. I saw people jumping on and off. No one was sticking with it. It was the sound. I don't know why. It just happened. So, all right, Kathy, thank you for saying I'm a natural at this and good information. I'm glad you're liking that. So I think that's a lot of the prep. Let me know if you have more questions about the prep, or if you let me know in the comments if you are thinking that you want to do a Facebook Live video and what you might do it on. So it'd be great to see some ideas out there. Like you might do a little series on yoga for sleep, or what are some of your classes that you're teaching right now? And I'll try and think of some examples as we go. So I talked about the test video. You can do a test video that only you can see. You change it in the settings. You know how you change the privacy settings to be like, this is going to be a public post, or this is going to be just me. Just remember that when you do that, the next post that you make will be just to you as well. So also with public, if you go and change it to public, the next post is going to say, oh yeah, do you want, like it doesn't even ask you, it reverts back to whatever you posted last. So you might want to check the next time you make a Facebook post. That brings another thing in. I always post this on the Connected Yoga Teacher page because I don't think my friends who aren't yoga teachers want to keep seeing live videos about the business of yoga. So people get to choose. Now, if I feel like, you know what, that's a video that I think my friends would like, or every once in a while, then I post it to my personal page. Not very often. And then I post it in our group, so our private group. And that might be something that you want to do, is have a private group for your yoga students where they can ask you questions, and that's a great way to connect with your students outside of your yoga class. You might want to see if you're teaching to people who are in their 70s plus, they might not be on Facebook. So if you're teaching to people who are in their 20s, they might not be on Facebook. It might be Instagram. And there's other ways to post live videos. So I think YouTube has an option. Periscope is one. Instagram Live is now there. But there's not a way to save your video. Maybe there's a way, but I don't really know about it that well. I think Snapchat is live, but I'm not really sure how to use that except to dress up like an Easter bunny this week and dance around. Okay. So when I talked about doing the welcome, so it can be really tempting to like fix your hair. And sometimes I do that. I'm like, because I'm looking at this video of myself, but don't worry about that. Just don't do it at the beginning, like, okay, and pausing for a long time and saying like, I'm waiting for people to jump on live, because when people share this video, which they will do, and other people will come by and see it, you want them to be seeing the content that they're there for. So if you guys were like, oh, Shannon's going to talk about Facebook Live videos, and then I spent like the first 10 minutes fixing my hair and just saying I was waiting for people to jump on, and you were watching the replay, I bet you'd shut it off. And I know this because I did it with my bird feeder and some other previous videos on my Shannon Crow yoga. Those are quite funny. It can be like 3 minutes. And then I told the replay people, okay, jump to 3 minutes. That's where the yoga starts. Anyway, you guys don't have to make that mistake. If there's no one jumping on and watching you live, don't worry. Just so you guys know, I have some numbers here of how many people. So I did a Facebook launch party. I didn't share that video anywhere else. It's just on Facebook. 491 people have viewed that video. I can't imagine that they've watched the whole thing. It's an hour long and it's just me talking about the podcast. But I know a lot of you guys showed up for it, and don't worry, people jump on and they jump off. I love it, and Kathy, that you're still in your PJs. That's the other thing. People can watch this from their PJs. The Define Your Niche yoga is one of my most popular videos. There's 610 views on there. And then someone contacted me last week to say, hey, I found you on YouTube. So that's the other thing. I was really afraid to then change these videos and make them into YouTube videos. I have the step-by-step instructions on that if you guys are interested in doing that. I would highly recommend it because I embed those YouTube videos into the show notes. That way people are going to my YouTube channel instead of back to Facebook. Now, if you had a video editor and you wanted to go even further, Shailene Johnson takes this way further. She makes a Facebook Live video, then she sends that to her editor. He puts a bumper, like a little blah, blah, blah music at the beginning and some words and then music at the end or whatever. He cuts out all the parts in there that don't relate to the content that she's talking about. Then her team makes a podcast out of it. So this is something I don't do. I keep the live video really separate from the podcast because I'm calling out to you guys. I'm answering questions. I feel like it's a different vibe, but you can see how that would work for a yoga teacher who wanted to do that. Then they take snippets of the video and they put it all over, and then they take the content, they transcribe that video, make it into blog posts. She sends it to a writer. I mean, she takes this to the extreme. So if you felt like I want to go big business on this, look up Shailene Johnson and I'll put a link to her. Actually, she talked about it on a podcast episode that I can share if you guys are interested. Social media marketing world? No, Social Media Examiner. It's one for people who really like geeking out on social media, which I like to do. But I'm trying to compile this for yoga teachers today and making it a little more applicable. And I think going to that extreme, I don't know. You guys can let me know if you think that it feels like, yeah, I want to do that. I want to make, like, use it, all kinds of content and do that further. So I said it was really important to have a call to action plan. And I think that's super important to so think of it as a yoga teacher. This is like setting your intention at the beginning of the class. You know, your intention might be like yoga for sleep. So if you said, you know, at the end of the class, I want my students to all have a nice sleep tonight. That's your intention going in to teach the class. If you're doing a live video, your intention might be to get people to sign up for your yoga for sleep class. So it might be virtual, like maybe we're going to hear from Roslyn in the podcast soon about teaching virtual classes, online classes. And you might want to get people signing up for a live class with you. So really think about what your intention is and what the call to action would be. I think this is one of the key things. If you guys need help defining that, post something in our Connected Yoga Teacher group, like say, you know, I was thinking of doing this, what looks like the call to action. It's helpful to bounce this off of someone else. You can talk to a friend about it. If you're needing a consultation call, that's where I'm happy to dive in and look further at it with you. So when you go live, I already said, don't be like fixing your hair or showing your bird feeder like I did. But jump in with the intro. And a lot of the time I'll say, like, this is the Connected Yoga Teacher Live Show. I'm your host, Shannon Crow. And then I say, I'm a yoga teacher and consultant for yoga teachers. But what you might want to do is start with why people should be watching your video. So you might say, hi, today I want to offer you a really great yoga for sleep flow. We're going to do 6 poses that'll help you to sleep better. So that's going to get someone's attention quicker than an introduction. And something to think about. So then you can introduce you and you can say hi to the people who are popping on. And you guys might notice that I switch from doing content to then answering questions. So if I was answering questions and reading comments the whole time, it would not be a great replay video. So it's important to think about it as a replay video. Going from making a replay video, like thinking that, to then thinking I was putting something on YouTube was terrifying for me. Not many people are watching my YouTube channel, but I really had a hard time like switching and posting it on YouTube. I felt like it was more out there, which isn't true. There's 600 and some people watching these videos. On YouTube, I see like my views are going up on there. But again, my message out to yoga teachers is stronger than my fear. Okay, so that's kind of the flow of how it goes. Then after your video is super important. You guys are posting comments here, and I like to go back and comment in there and engage people again, because that means that more people get even more, they see the video even more. So it's a public video because it's on my yoga page. If you guys make a video, like say you do the one yoga for sleep, and there's people jumping on there live, or there's people commenting later like, wow, I had an awesome sleep last night after this video, thanks so much, or I have a real problem sleeping, like I'm so excited about this. Go back on there and reply to those people. You can tag them in it. It's that engagement. It's like, hi, I hear you, right? So Kathy, you said, yeah, you thought it would be expensive to do like having a personal assistant and then this whole team that does that with the content. Yeah, I'm sure it is. I do have someone actually helping me. Laura helps me doing some of the transcribing either of the podcasts or the videos when I get behind. So having a virtual assistant or VA or an assistant in some way can be it's a fee for sure, but it can be so worth it. So I found that I was spending time doing that and not able to book as many consults in. So sometimes it can be great to reach out and get someone to help you. If you feel like, oh my gosh, there's not enough hours in the day, or I have to cut out like my eating or my family time or whatever, then you have to make a choice. You either cut your work back or you get someone else to help you out. And that's what I had to do with Laura. Laura's great. She's a yoga student and she's a writer, and she's excited about these shows even though she's not a yoga teacher. Okay, so then after the video you can share it, and you can share it on your personal or in a group. You connect with people on there, and then doing the whole thing to YouTube and embedding it. For those of you who are interested, it's super easy. It's easier than you think. And I haven't done that with my pelvic health ones, but I should. And I do that every week now. So I create the show notes actually before we start the show, just so I know my talking points. I kind of either create them in my book or I start making the post for you guys, so that all of the notes are there for you. And then when I just embed the video once I do all the little, to YouTube, embed the video. It sounds confusing. Honestly, it's not. I have a little flow that I look back to. So do you guys have any other questions about making live video? Again, like I said, I made a lot of mistakes. I've also seen if people go to post with their phone, the direction of it, just make sure that the live button moves with it. It's okay if you've done that. I've done it, to have the video sideways. So it's like you're sideways the whole time. Some people do live videos, and then I see like their kids are in it or somebody's running through it. I think everyone's okay with that. It's this coolness of like, this is the live video. You guys are here in my office, in my little yoga space. Oh yeah, something with the earbuds. So you can get a lapel microphone to connect to you, and to somehow connect to your computer. But honestly, I'm going to take this out and show you guys what it sounds like without that, if it'll work when I unplug it. And I'm going to move back, and lots of my yoga videos, so when I share with students, my yoga videos are like that. Sometimes I'll be here and explaining something and then say that I'm going to go and demo something. As a yoga teacher, something else you might be thinking about doing is making a yoga flow for people to follow along with later so that they can look at images, especially if you're going to stay and teach the whole time. In the show notes, you'll see a link back to Rosalind's virtual class, which is like an hour for yoga teachers of bliss and nurturing. A lot of you have watched that. If you haven't, you can just find it in our show notes. And she stays in front of, so it feels like she's right there with you. So that's one thing to know, is that when you're looking at the camera, then people feel like you're connecting with them, right? So if I was moving back there and say I was just like enjoying my own yoga practice and doing it, then students would feel like, hey, she's not watching me. It's important to let your students know that you can't see them. Some people, I think, I know the first time I was ever on a live video and someone called out to me, I was like, oh my gosh, can they see me? But it's a one-way thing here. You guys can see the video and no one else can see you. Okay, so are you ready for the challenge? I'm excited to see your videos. There's a prize there of an incentive, but I hope that everyone does it. Even if you're not thinking of booking a consultation, go on over to the Connected Yoga Teacher Facebook group and post your live video there. Once you do that, and if you decide, oh yeah, I want a consultation as well, on your 3 topics, if you're doing 90-minute, or on a continued consultation for some of you who have booked with me before, then you'll get a $15 refund on that. So just for making a video like, hi, this is who I am. And my main thing with this is that it's going to strengthen our community of connected yoga teachers out there. So you'll get to hear from people who teach certain styles of yoga in different ways, and they're in different parts of the world, and then we feel a little bit more connected to each other. So jump on over there and do that. I'm going to post an intro video example. And for those of you who are going to the Toronto Yoga Show, this will be my first time ever going, because I jumped out there and I'm going to join the community a little bit more. I've never gone, and it's the 10th year anniversary for it. I'm excited about that, and I'm going to share in the Connected Yoga Teacher private group anything I'm learning that weekend. I'll just share with you guys as much as I can. So I'm excited about that, and I'm going to take my giant iPad. I might even do some interviews while I'm there. So if you're going, let me know and let's connect. Okay, take care, you guys. See you next week. It'll be the April schedule. Take a look. There's lots there.